Hey everyone, Linda here, coming back at you with another video today. Welcome back to AdoreR. Hope everyone's doing good and staying safe out there. Today I'm coming to you with my best romantic reads of 2020. I know in 2019 I didn't even know if I was going to have any best books for 2019 because my reading was not good in 2019. I just did not find any really good books that I really enjoyed. I think I had set my goals for like 50 books for 2019, and I think I only did like 30 some books for 2019. It was not a good reading year in 2019, but I started off 2020. Yeah, I started off great in 2020, even before COVID even hit. I think we found out about COVID around March or something, but I was already up about 5 books then. I was like, oh, this year is starting off great, and it continued to the end of 2020 because I think since I didn't do too good in 2019, I set my goal for 40 books for 2020, and I ended up reading like 90 some books. And I was like, wow, I did really good. I never make it to 100. I don't think I've ever made it to 100, but I did 90 some books for 2020, and I think I got 11 or 12 books that I really enjoyed, and I'll go back and read those books again. And I think I mentioned if I really love a book, I usually go and buy it in the actual book form. So I got most of the books in book form. 3 of them I don't have because the author hasn't published them in book form. She only has them on in ebooks, so that's why I don't have these 3 in book form. And these are not in any specific order because I loved all of these books. I gave all of these a high 4.5 stars. I don't usually give out 5 stars unless that book totally knocked my socks off. That means when I finished the book, I was still on a high. Yeah, none of these kept me on a high after I read it. But these did do it for me. These books I will go back and read. I will start at the beginning and go back and read all of these books because they were that good. The story was that good. The characters were that good. I just really enjoyed them. I enjoyed all of them. And like I said, I gave all of these a high 4.5 stars. And all of these books, the authors are new authors for me. I've never read them before, so all of these are new authors to me for 2020. I never read any of these authors before. So we'll start out with the 3 books that I have on Kindle that I haven't got the actual book to. But if the author ever come out with and put them in book form, I will be purchasing them. And the 3 books are in a series. They're the Vawdrey Brothers series, and these were all written by Alice Coldbreath. I think I mentioned her in my last wrap up that I really enjoyed her books. And the first book in the series is his Baseborn Bridegroom. I'm not going to go over all of these. If I can remember a little bit of some of them, I will. But if I can't, I'm not going to go. I'm just going to go through them because I think I have about 12 books here, and I'm just going to go through them right quick. This one is book 1, his Baseborn Bridegroom. This is on the second brother in the Vawdrey series. I really enjoyed this book. If you like court intrigue, because most of these are, some of the setting is set at court. If you like court intrigue, and it's not a lot of court intrigue, but it's some, I think you'll like this book. And I just really like how she wrote the characters, how she have the male characters falling so in love with the female characters. I like that part when the male character is falling, so he's so in love with the female characters, and she can do no wrong. I love that. And I also love how she wrote her love scenes in here. That really pushed it over the edge for me, how she writes her love scene. I really like how she writes her love scene. Yes, there is sexual content in here, but they're not over the top. She just does a really good job. If you read this, you'll know what I'm talking about, how she writes her love scene. They're not over the top. They're perfect. That's all I got on that one. Like I said, this is book number 1, and this is on the second brother. And then we got book number 2, which is His Forsaken Bride by Alice Coldbreath. I really enjoyed this one. This was my favorite out of all 3 books, but I rated all 3 of those books 4.5 stars, but this one was my favorite. And book is on the older brother, and he's like the king's right-hand man, and this one is set at court. Most of this is going to be at court, like I said, you got court intrigue, and he meets the female when she come there to, her husband has petitioned to the king that he want a divorce, and she's coming there to stop him. But when she goes to the hero of the story, and that's when they find out that they got a connection somewhere, and instead of the hero helping her out to get her husband back, he ends up marrying her. Or I'm not going to go any further than that, but if you read this story, you'll see what I'm talking about. I highly recommend this one. Also, here's Forsaken Bride by Alice Coldbreath. And then we got the third brother, and his story is An Ill-Made Match. And I was wondering how she was going to redeem the younger brother, because in the first book, yeah, he done got on your nerve. But she did a good job in this, and most of this is also set at court, but it's mostly going to be a traveling, they're mostly traveling because he is the king's #1 jousters. He's like the main winner of all jousting, so he goes around, and that's how he make his money, because you know the older brother usually get everything, and the other two brothers have to scrape and find other jobs. So that's what the younger brother do. He's a jouster, and he goes around jousting at these different tournaments, and he gonna end up, and all three of these books is like a marriage of convenience. If you like marriage of convenience trope, this will be, all three of these books will be for you, because all of these are like a marriage of, and most of her books usually be like a marriage of convenience, and I really love it. I like marriage of convenience when you end up marrying somebody, but then you end up falling in love with them. Yeah. And I really enjoyed this one. This is An Ill-Made Match, and it's on the third brother, and this book #3 in the Vawdrey Brothers series. If you haven't read any of Alice Bright books, check them out. I think you will really enjoy them. I recommend all her books, because I mostly read all of them that I've been able to find, and I really enjoyed all of them. But these three right here really pushed it over the edge for me, and they ended up on my 2020 list for my favorite reads. Book #3 in the Vawdrey Brothers series. Check it out. Next, I have all the rest of these are in book form, because like I said, if I really enjoy them, I usually buy the book. Next up, I have Wild at Heart by K.A. Tucker. I've already went over this in a wrap-up. I'm not going to go back over it again. I'll just tell you that the main hero, he's a bush pilot, and the female character, she had a blog or something like that. And I really enjoyed this, because she ends up in Alaska when she finds out that her dad is sick, and she ends up going to Alaska to visit her dad. But if you want to read this, like I said, this is book 2. This is book #2, because you have to start with book #1, which is The Simple Wild, because these books are on the same cover. So you have to read The Simple Wild before you can read Wild at Heart. So I recommend this whole series. And then she did a novella, wrapped up everything really good. I don't like reading novellas too much, but some people can do them really good, and K.A. Tucker did this really good. She wrapped up their story in this little bitty book. She put a lot in this little bitty book that wrapped it up really good, and I like how the whole story ended. Highly recommend the Simple Wild series, but this is on my favorite list for 2020, Wild at Heart. So I had to make sure that you know that you need to read The Simple Wild first before you get to Wild at Heart. And then once you do Wild at Heart, don't forget Forever Wild. I'll put this on this is just a little novella, but I read both of these in 2020, and I love both of them. I gave both of them 4.5 stars. So the whole series, check it out. K.A. Tucker. Enjoyed that. Next, I have the All the King's Men series. I got book 1 by Kennedy Ryan and book 2 by Kennedy Ryan. Both of these are on the same couple. I really enjoyed this. I'm not going to go over it again. I've already did a wrap-up on it. You can go back and find my wrap-up. If I can find it, I'll link it below. But this is like a political romance, because the female in here, she's like, once she graduated from college, because the two main characters meet when I think the female character is like 16 or 17 years old, and they meet at they're having some kind of rally. Her and some other people are having a rally, and the hero and his dad show up because they are having a protest. So that's what they having. They're protesting against his father trying to build like condominium on their land because she's Indian. I think she's part Indian, and she's out there protesting, trying to keep his dad from building on their land, you know. And it goes from there because this like span a different. I think Kennedy Ryan like to do a lot of, you know, you meet him at this age, then a couple of years later you meet him again. Because when she meet him again, and she don't know that his dad is the one who's trying to plow up their land, and because he sees her there and he go over there and try to help her because I think the police try to arrest her or something because she had caught his attention from the beginning when he first saw her out there protesting, and he go over there trying to help her and he gets arrested. So they end up in jail together and they have like some good chemistry together, but he realized that she's too young for him. But then they meet again somewhere else. I'm not going to go any further with it. And I just really enjoyed this. And like I said, it's a political romance because she, like when she graduates from college, she becomes like a she helped people who are running for office she helped them run their campaign. That's what she does. She helped them run their campaign, and she's good at what she does. She done helped a lot of people get elected. So that's how it's going to go in this book. It's like a political romance. If you like political romance, I think you'll like it. But if you don't, this might not be for you. But I just really enjoyed it. I like the chemistry between the two main characters. I really enjoyed the writing of it. Highly recommend the series. All the King's Men, book 1 and book 2. So you have to read book 1 before you read book 2. Highly recommend it. Next I have a historical, The Madness of Ian McKenzie. Really enjoyed this one. This is on Ian. He's kind of has like Asperger's, I think, because he don't like to be touched or whatever. When he was young, his father had sent him away to an asylum, and he spent most of his years in the asylum until his dad passed, and then his brother got him out and just helped him rehabilitate and help him, you know, find his way in society. And he ends up meeting Beth when he goes to meet Beth fiance, and he meets the guy, and I don't know if he meet Beth then or not, but he finds out that this guy is finna get married, and he feel like he needs to stop it because he know this guy is not any good or anything. And that's how he meets Beth. He makes his mission to find out who this guy is going to marry. So he find out it's Beth, and he goes to meet her, and then that's when he let her know that the guy she's trying to marry is, yeah, he's not any good or whatever. And they have some instant chemistry together, and that's how they meet, and it's going to go on from there. I'm not going to go any further, but I really enjoyed this. I gave this a high 4.5 stars, and this The Madness of Lord Ian McKenzie. I enjoyed it so much that I bought the rest of, well, some of the books in the series. I didn't buy all of the books, but I bought some more that I need to read, but that I haven't got to yet. But if you haven't read this, you need to, and if you like historicals, I think you will really enjoy this. The Madness of Ian McKenzie. Next, I have Reasonable Doubt by Whitney G. Really enjoyed this one. Now, this really got some sexual content in it. Yeah, it started out because the main male character in here, yeah, you talking about some sexy talk, yeah. He don't be playing around. Yeah, he know what he want, and he going after her. And I was like, oh my goodness. I'm not going to go any further than this, but except that this is the setting for this is he's a lawyer, and the female character, she also is I think she just graduated from college, and she's trying to get into, she's also going to school to be a lawyer, and she just finished college, and she's trying to get her a job at a law firm, and the law firm going to happen to be his law firm. Yeah, but in her she only went to law school because of her parents, because she wanted to be a ballerina. But yeah, this is some hot steaming that's going on, and you talking about some sexual tension going on. Yeah, if you don't mind some sexual content and some sexy talk and an aggressive alpha male, this is for you. Reasonable Doubt by Whitney G. And if you get the book, make sure that it says full series, because when Whitney G wrote this, she wrote only like, let me see how she got this in here. See here. Because I think she wrote it in, yep, see, she wrote like volume 1. She wrote it like in volume. So she wrote volume 1, she would publish that, and then she would come back and then publish volume 2. Because if you see here, that said volume 2. So make sure you get, if you want to buy the actual book, make sure it said full series. Because if not, you'll be like buying volume 1, like little novellas, and yeah, you're going to be mad. So make sure it said the full series. Highly, highly recommend this. I gave this a high 4.5 stars. Really, really enjoyed this. Next, I have Elizabeth Kingston, The King's Man. This is a medieval romance. I really, really enjoyed this one too. I just did a wrap up on this. I'm not going to go over it again, but if you don't mind, if you like medieval romances, if you like strong female characters, highly, highly recommend this book. Her and the male characters, yeah. Let's just say they get into a fight with swords and he don't win. I really, my favorite character was the female character in here because she had it going on. I really, really enjoyed this. And this is Elizabeth Kingston, The King's Man. And this is also in a series, but you don't need to read. They're all, it's 3 books in this series, and all of them are on different characters. But if you want to stay in context with, if you read like the second book, you can read them out of order, but it'll probably be some mentions in there that you be like, where did this come from? So you might want to start with the first book. I've read the first book. I didn't read the second book, and I read the third book. But out of the third book was okay for me. I enjoyed it. I gave it a 4-star, but this was my favorite out of the series. Elizabeth Kingston, The King's Man. I really, really, really enjoyed this. Next, I have Scarlett Scott, Reckless Need, A Heart's Temptation series. Really, really enjoyed this, and you don't have to read this in order. All of these are on different characters, so you don't have to read it in order. I just really loved it. If you're talking about some steaminess and some chemistry, hot chemistry, yeah, I really, really enjoyed this. Even though, look how small it is. It's like 100 and, let's see, 205 pages, but Scarlett Scott packed a lot into this little book. I really, really enjoyed this. I like the chemistry that they had, and I like that both of them knew what they wanted. You didn't have one saying, no, I shouldn't do this, or I shouldn't do that. They kind of was like weird, but they knew they was attracted to each other, and they didn't try to stop it. I was like, okay, I'm all in. And this is Reckless Need, book number 3 in Heart's Temptation. Really, really loved it. And look at this cover. Oh my God, isn't it beautiful? Look at her gown. I really, really love this book. 4.5 stars, people. If you want some, you like to have couple when they have that sexual attention with each other and they know what they want and they're going to go for it, then this is for you. Reckless Need. And the last 2 books I have, both of these are by T.L. Swan. I got the Stopover here, and these books are in the Mile High series. I think she's gonna have some other books coming out because they got 2 more brothers, and I think all of these are gonna be on the brothers. So this is the Mile High Club series. I read the Stopover. I really, really enjoyed that. I gave that a high 4.5 stars. I don't know what brother this is I don't know who's the oldest or what. I don't know if he's the second brother. I have no idea. I just know that they they own a media company, and in this book, the brother in this book, he's going to meet a lady that they want to buy her company and she don't want to sell. And this is if you like older women, younger men, because she's older than him, and she have 3 boys. Her husband got killed, but he's very attracted to her, and it's all about them trying to get together. And T.L. Swan, I love her writing. She is a great dialogue writer. I think I mentioned on here before that I love book with dialogue, especially between the 2 main characters where they be going back and forth. Oh, I love it. That's what look, when I found her, I was like, you right up my alley. You write these books just for me, because I love dialogue, books with dialogue. It makes the book go quicker. It lets you get into the characters more. I just love it. And I don't want to say her books are romantic comedies, but because they're not, because she has serious subject in there too. But her dialogue is so good, and it's so funny. Oh, it's so funny. I think you'll really, really enjoy this. But warning, she does have sexual content in here. Yeah, it's a lot of steaming is going on up in here. But I really, really enjoyed it. If you like if you want a good laugh, good romance between the two main characters, I highly, highly recommend T.L. Swan. And this is the Stopover. I really, really enjoyed it. And this is the other book in the series. I think this is book 1, and this was book 2. Really, really, this was my favorite out of both of those. But I highly, highly recommend both of them. I gave both of them a high 4.5 stars. This is the Takeover. The hero and the heroine meet when the heroine get bumped up to first class for some kind of reason. Something happened, and because she's not rich or anything, but something happened and the airline bumps her up to first class, and that's where she meets the hero in first class, because he's the main. I think he's the older brother running the media company that they have, and she meets him in first class, and they hit it off. Yeah, and it goes from there. I really, really enjoyed this. Highly, highly recommend both of these books, The Takeover and The Stopover. Highly, highly recommend both of them. So all of these books, if you haven't read them, you need to check them out, people. 4 stars all the way, 4.5 stars all the way. Really, really enjoyed it. I don't think you'll be disappointed in any of those books. And if you read any, let me know. If you read any of those one I just went over, let me know. And let me know what you thought of them. Did you really, really enjoy them? Did you give them 4.5 stars? Or did you go all the way and give them 5 stars? Let me know. Or post some books below give me a list of your 2020 best romantic reads. Because I had a great year. Even though with COVID, everything else was a mess, my reading was 100%. I read some fantastic books last year. So I'm hoping that 2021 will start off the same way, and I will have, maybe I'll make it to 100 books this year. Reading 100 books this year, because I was close. I think I had 97 or 96 or 97. I'm not sure. I have to go back on Goodreads and see. But I really, really had a good year in 2020 reading wise. Yeah. And I hope 2021 will be the same. But for now, that's all I have. Please, please post some of your best reads of 2020 down below so I can go check them out. Or if you read some of the ones that I've recommended, let me know how you rated them. 4.5 stars or lower, or higher, or 5 star. Let me know. But that's all I got for now. Until next time, keep reading those romances, and I'll see you all later. Bye. Have a great evening.